Chapter 19. Behavioral Biases. The Illusion Creators. As you have read earlier, the behavioral biases affect our routine decisions, including those related to investing in a stock to a significant extent. So it is important to identify such biases and to remove them to make the best investment decision possible. Number 1. Familiarity bias towards known brands and names. Familiarity bias is indeed the most common bias that is seen in everyday life. Under this bias, the investors may tend to overweigh the stocks of the companies they work for, or they may be biased towards the stocks of brand names they are aware of. For example, choosing Britannia biscuit over Sunfeast because you are more familiar with the Britannia brand. Likewise, you might end up picking up Britannia's stock over ITC. Some other day-to-day examples are following the same route to work or home, visiting the same store over and over again to shop for daily needs, wearing the clothes of particular brand, eating the same flavor of ice cream every time, etc. Though the theory of investment insists that investor must thoroughly research and analyze the stocks before picking, usually the stock investors invest in public sector securities influenced by their familiarity and comfort. When the investor invests in the company they are working for, they don't realize they are doubly risking their money. In case the company does not perform well, then the employee may suffer reduced salary income and reduced return on the investment. Hence, investing in your own company may require you to do a thorough analysis, such as consider the tax benefits, calculate the anticipated returns, analyze the industry performance, transaction cost, etc. But the familiarity bias drives the investors so firmly that they blindly invest in the company they have been working in for a few years. This bias is commonly seen in those individuals who love to live within their comfort zone. Such individuals fear to travel the untrodden path as unfamiliarity makes them uneasy. Number 2. Representativeness. Representativeness is a widespread bias that is governed by the image, representation, or past performance of a company. For instance, if an investor considers a company to be a good company, then he may instantly choose to invest in it. But this can be misleading, as a company's brand image cannot judge the exact worth of a company. Conventionally, the image of a company gets enhanced due to advertisement and promotional activities. There are two types of representative biases. Horizontal bias. This bias says that people tend to value a stock against its track record. They would try to forecast the performance of the stock in the future based on the similarities with its analog. Second is the vertical bias. Investors often take the past performance of the stocks as the representative of their future performance. Such biases are often referred to as recency bias. The chasing of recent trend is a crucial part of the technical analysis. For example, Cadbury was known to manufacture good quality delicious chocolates until there were a couple of incidents where worms were reported in its chocolates. This reporting immediately tarnished the brand image of Cadbury, which brought down the value of its stocks. Do these biases help in making right investments? The answer is yes and no, both, as it depends on the term of investment you have chosen. For small term investment, past performance at times develop a negative correlation with near future performance. But for long-term investment, the past performance tend to establish a positive relationship with future performance. The availability of information enhances representative bias. When the availability of specific information, like extended news coverage of highly performing stock, spreads like wildfire, it grabs the attention of potential investors immediately. Such news stimulates trading of shares due to the development of immediate bias towards them. Number 3. Anchoring. Anchoring refers to using irrelevant information as a base to make financial investment. It may also be put as getting fixed on past information and using it to make inappropriate financial investments. For example, an investor may get way too influenced by the buying cost of security, and he may use it as a reference to evaluate investing in that particular financial stock. In the context of spending, the market participants with this bias exist prominently everywhere. Anchoring bias is commonly seen in both new as well as professional investors. However, professional investors have more access and exposure in investment to goals themselves if they are letting these biases influence them. For example, suppose you want to buy a property and you get an initial quote of rupees 10 lakh for a flat. Now this works as a reference point for you. After a few months pass, the market crashes and the price of the property get lowered. Hence, now suppose your dealer quote you rupees 9 lakh for the same property, you might like it without being aware that the current price is at 8 lakh rupees. This happens because you got anchored to the initial quote of rupees 10 lakh, and so anything lesser than that would mean a good deal to you. The same principle works in stock investment too. You have seen security priced at rupees 100 and you want to purchase it, but find it overpriced. So you wait for the price to soar down, and the moment it touches rupees 80, you jump over to grab them. But had you not been anchored to the initial hike price of rupees 100, then you would have waited further to see if prices would step down further. Later, you got to know that price dropped down to rupees 65 just a week later. Now, do you think that holding on to the initial pricing was wise enough? Beginner's luck in investing. All of us often experience beginner's luck in one or many instances. Remember, winning the first time you played the business, Scrabble or Ludo games. On winning the game, the very first time we played, how excited we would get, and we always thought that we had mastered the game right on the first go. But what happened when you played the game for a few more times? Did you continue achieving the same success, or you lost many games? Well, the first time when you won, it was due to beginner's luck. A beginner's luck is when a beginner experiences unexpected success against a seasoned or professional player in a chosen activity. The reason behind a beginner's luck. A beginner's luck leads to success at the first go because a beginner is free of anchoring bias. Anchoring bias refers to anchoring or holding onto a piece of information usually related to the past. For example, if a seasoned investor has seen share of MRF tire trading at rupees 100 and now the same company is trading at rupees 1000, then he will be reluctant in buying the share for $1000 because it was available to him for $100 some time ago. But if a naive investor with no investment background look at the share price of MRF tire, then he takes rupees 100 as the base value and will happily choose to invest in it if it seems promising. Hence the beginner's luck happened due to the lack of price anchoring in this case, and not due to real luck. Number 4. Overconfidence bias. Overconfidence refers to an investor having a bias towards his prediction skills, his judgments about the market behavior, and his cognitive abilities. In these biases, the investor tends to over-evaluate not just his prediction skills but also the information that he has received. In simple words, the investor is over-enthusiastic and may act immediately based on an investment tip that he gets from an advisor or that he would have read anywhere. The investor considers himself to be smarter than other investors and advisors. This brings in a lot of overconfidence in the investor, and he starts acting as per his perceived knowledge of investment. Examples of overconfidence bias. Number 1. Overranking. In this case, an overconfident investor ranks his knowledge and performance as superior to that of others. Number 2. Controlling situations. When an investor feels that he can control condition in his favor, then he invests assuming the situation will be favorable. But because of having the wrong assumption, he makes mistakes. Number 3. Timing. Usually, an investor may invest in a specific period, assuming the company will start performing outstandingly, rendering profits well on investment. In reality, business projects are always underestimated for timings and mostly delayed beyond the proposed schedules. Number 4. Desirability effect. Sometimes the investor gets desperate to get the desired result. In such situation, the investor will overestimate the possibility of something happening, but the probability of such happenings in reality is much lesser. Types of overconfidence bias. Number 1. Prediction bias. Prediction bias usually happen while making frequent investment. The investments based on predictions can be far from the realities. Say, I am an overconfident investor predicting a 7% to 8% gain or fall in stock, and I invest based on this prediction. But the real fluctuation in price turned out to be 15%, which was revealed later. I fell for the trap due to the prediction bias. The negative aspect of this type of bias is that I may underestimate the risk involved investing in a stock. Number 2. Certainty bias. It refers to having overconfidence about a particular investment, considering it to be a good investment. This leads to investor trading too often or too much at a time due to overconfidence. Also, these kind of investors end up building highly concentrated portfolios without doing thorough research on the stocks they have invested in, inviting much higher risk of incurring losses in the future. Let us see the implications of overconfidence in detail. Excessive trading. Overconfidence often results in excessive trading. Since the investors are overconfident about their knowledge, this makes them trade more often. As per M. Zuckerman, under overconfidence bias, an investor turns into a sensation-seeking personality with the following features to it. Drives thrill. The adventure-seeking desire engages the person to keep trying hands in trading. The desire to gain experience. The investor desires to gain hands-on experience by working on something new and exciting. No inhibition. Trading is looked as an activity that is accepted and is appropriate as per the social norms. So when an investor trades often, he is gambling to mint money, which is within the legal framework. Thus an overconfident investor gets deeper into trading and does it even more. Fun and excitement. Trading shares is a fun for some investors and kills boredom. Under diversification. As we saw under certainty bias, the overconfident investors tend to opt for a concerned portfolio because they are super confident about their investment and put in all their money in chosen stocks. This results in under diversification, which is also a trait of seasoned investor. But the approach taken by them is way too different as compared to overconfident investors. The seasoned investor thoroughly analyzes the funds, the companies, the markets, the industries, take a patience and calculated approach to generate a concentrated portfolio, which will give promising returns in the future. But the overconfident investor tend to invest money without doing any thorough research. These investors believe themselves to be smart enough to make the right decision and end up generating an under-diversified portfolio. Third type of overconfidence bias is excessively optimistic. Overconfident investors are overly optimistic about the companies they are tracking. Their assumptions are miscalculated and are overacted as compared to reality. Herd mentality bias. Man is a social being. He does not like to cut out from a trend or to opt out from a movement. And marketeers know this very well. They try to position a product to create a brand such that people start relating to it. So the brand becomes a trend and others blindly follow it to be a part of a social norm. In this bias, an investor tends to copy other investors. This type of bias is dominated by an investor's instinct and emotions rather than the analytical approach taken to understand a stock before investing in it. The herd mentality is very much hardwired in us, and we often act unconsciously as per this mentality. It is due to the following two reasons. Social pressure. Man as a social being seeks acceptance and approval of others. This is why he follows a trend or norm. The belief that a large group of people cannot be wrong. A man tends to copy others because he thinks that so many people who have chosen to follow the same path cannot be wrong. Example 1. Suppose you visit Noida for the first time and you are looking for a good restaurant to dine at. Suddenly, you come across a street with two posh looking restaurants right opposite to each other. Now, because you are new, you don't have any clue about which of the two is good. As you approach closer to the restaurant, you see that one is filled with plenty of youngsters and the other is empty. So you think that the one which is crowded must be the one serving good food, and you choose to eat there. After ordering the food, you felt that the food quality is average and the food was just palatable. Later, you try to dig deeper and go around asking in the locality about those two restaurants. To your great surprise, you discover that the one busy with youngsters was visited by a college student on a sponsored outing because it gave massive discount on group outings. And the restaurant right opposite to it is better in terms of food quality and taste and maintains good consistency of food at all times. But it has just opened at the time when you visited the place, so you saw it empty. So you see how herd mentality bias made you take a decision that acted against your interest. Example number 2. Another example of this is that in a democratic country like India, the politicians are chosen to a great extent by herd mentality bias. Strong visibility of such biases is seen in the people of middle class and lower class of the society, who tend to follow each other. And the result of such a majority has not always been favorable in the past. The democratically chosen politicians were not the best of the lot at all times. The same dynamics work in the stock investment as well. What the majority of people choose may not be the right option. Example number 3. A famous example of herd mentality bias in financial investment is investing in smartphone manufacturing companies. When BlackBerry was launched, it became the talk of the town. All top officials shifted to BlackBerry, which made it an expensive buy, which was sought after by all youngsters. Many technology companies like BlackBerry do successfully make a lot of noise in the market, but often lack a good business model. But because BlackBerry became a big sensation at one point in time, more investors started investing in it. And any naive or biased investor would follow the crowd and invest in it. But the reality was far-fetched, and eventually BlackBerry was thrown out of the market by other strong smartphone players like Apple, Sony, etc. The herd mentality bias is so strong that if an investor is advised to act contrary to what the majority of people are doing, then it may even instill fear. Not many investors have the guts to invest based on functional analysis and research, because that may mean acting contrary to other investors. No wonder avoiding herd mentality is considered to be the golden rule of investment. The investors do get carried away by the mass behavior of other investors, and that is quite natural though. This is why behavioral finance needs to be learned to enhance financial decision making skills. How to keep yourself at bay from herd mentality syndrome? This is indeed one of the most common questions asked by naive investors. For this, you need to dig deeper in analyzing the prospects of the investment before investing in it. The more you know about a company's stock, the better your chances are of not falling into the herd mentality bias trap. Next bias is commitment bias. Commitment bias suggests that people develop an attachment to their past ideas and beliefs, so much so that they invariably keep applying those ideas in new situations. Commitment bias is also referred to as self-serving bias. Commitment bias is usually seen in our day-to-day life when we do things or take decisions only to approve or justify our past actions. It is like one slippery slope where a single slip is enough to pull you down completely. For example, you seek help from a group of friends, but only one friend chooses to help you. Now the next time you approach the same group for help, you are more likely to receive it from the same friend who helped you earlier. It is so because that compassionate friend would choose to stay consistent with his effort in the past. He seems to be a value-driven person who would like to stick to the commitment he has made for himself. It is a typical example of commitment bias. An investor can hold on to security longer than he had thought of holding, just because he chose to invest in it, even when it is contrary to the interest of the investor. Commitment bias, in simple words, is like having a belief that the decisions we took in the past were good. It is this belief that makes us refrain from disinvesting shortly, even when holding back some stocks may result in a big loss. This is why legendary investors always suggest to never openly suggest the name of good stocks to invest in on any public platform like news channel, newspaper, etc. This is so because if a seasoned investor suggests on a public platform to buy a stock and later he finds some flaws with this stock, do you think he will be able to change his suggestion? Definitely not, because now the advisor is a victim of commitment bias. Hence, it is essential to do your research in stock investment as you do not know whether the advisor is suffering from commitment bias. Next bias is confirmation bias. Confirmation bias indicates the tendency to use a piece of information to support your perceived notion and ignore the one that are contrary to your beliefs. For example, if an investor is interested in investing in Airtel, then he would look for positive information that would support his decision. Hence, if such an investor will come across any negative piece of information about the company, he or she may tend to overlook it. A sound investment strategy always looks for information that contradicts your way of thinking. This is what most successful investors have been doing. The point to note is that you need to approach investment with an open mind, as the shreds of evidence collected tend to flow in all different directions. Consequently, you would analyze the multiple perspectives which will overcome any influence or biases present. Confirmation bias occurs in two different circumstances. Number 1. Selective absorption of information. When an investor selectively absorbs information from the past happenings and acts based on this particular information. For example, you were traveling to colder place on holiday and used a face compact that has a good moisture retaining capacity and made you look lovely. Now you are back in India, where you experience hot tropical weather, and you think of using the same compact because you remember it gave you amazing results. But the performance of that compact was relative to the weather. And so, the hot weather made your skin look oily and sticky. The reason behind this is that you selectively retained information about a makeup product. Of course, the same occurs in stock investment as well, where you need to consider many factors to check the performance of a stock. Number 2. Misinterpretation of the information. Confirmation bias is commonly seen when you have misinterpreted the information given to you. Suppose you read somewhere that a company X is bound to perform 100 times better in the coming decade if the industrial norms are modified in that sector. But to make this happen, the government will have to alter its current taxation policies and structure. So as an investor, you would keep track information on this sector's development. Suppose a few days later, you read that the government has chosen to modify two of its taxation policies to support the low and mid-cap companies in that sector. But you misinterpret the information to understand that the new change is for big companies like X. And based on this information, you invest in the company X. After 5 years, you realize that the prices of stock of company X have only marginally increased, which forces you to disinvest. Examples of confirmation bias. An investor came across a company Z, which is highly recommended by his colleagues. With a lot of interest, the investor starts searching for supporting information to invest in that particular stock. Suppose he finds some supporting information like low debt equity ratio or high cash inflow of the company and some other danger signals like unfavorable policies. But he is still chosen to invest in company X under the influence of confirmation bias only to get disappointed later. Next bias is hindsight bias. Hindsight bias is a term in psychology which explains the tendency of people to overestimate their ability to predict the happening of an outcome that could not have been practically possible to predict. In investing, the occurrence of hindsight bias is pretty common. The pressure of investing in the right stock at the right time often ends up frustrating the investors for not knowing better or for not noticing the rising trend earlier. people look for simpler solutions to complicate problems and thus tend to overthink and develop such biases. It is not that having these biases is wrong, but sometimes these biases can force the investor to find a wrong link between the cause and the effect of investment. Let's take the example of a trader who invests in the stock market. He has two options, either trading long or trading short. Trading long is buying a stock hoping that the stock price will rise. Trading short is borrowing a stock, selling it instantly with the idea of buying it back when the stock prices decreases and earning a considerable profit. The investor trades longs, and unfortunately, the market responded contrary to the trade made by him. He angrily claims that he knew this was going to happen, and that is hindsight bias. Gambler's fallacy. Gambler's fallacy is also known as Monte Carlo fallacy or the fallacy of the maturity of chances. It is a widespread belief that if some event has occurred a few times in a given period, then it will happen less frequently in the future and vice versa. Gambler's fallacy is not correct as the past event cannot govern the probability of occurrence of any game in the future. How does gambler's fallacy work in financial investments? Gambler's fallacy misled the investors who end up taking the wrong decision. The long invested investors who witnessed constant growth in stock value over time liquidate their share due to gambler's fallacy. It is so because they believe that the value is more likely to decline after many consecutive gains. Example: flipping of a coin. Suppose you are playing the game of flipping a coin with your friend. The first 5 flips led to heads each time. But just before the 6th flip, you turn pessimist toward head and you feel that the 6th flip is more likely to be tails because the earlier 5 one was heads. But when you flip the coin, you see that the 6th flip is heads again. Why? It is so because the probability of getting heads or tails in each flip is 50%, and each coin flip is completely independent of any of the past flips. It is a wholly independent event with a probability of 50% each time. This is where a gambler's fallacy dilutes your conviction and makes you liquidate your assets only to prevent a loss that was anyway never happening. Disposition effect. Disposition effect suggests that the investors have an innate tendency to identify gains more quickly than to determine losses in any investment. Selling security at a loss would mean that the investor's decision of trading was wrong, and selling a stock at a profit would say that an investor took the right decision. Hence, the investor would be more willing to sell off those securities for which the prices have risen than to sell the one that will incur losses. But a good investor must get rid of a lousy performing asset at the quickest to save on taxes. Of course, the loss or profit in trading is always taken against the purchase price of the security, which is a critical reference point. This theory is pretty much in line with the prospect theory, which stated that losses prick twice as hard as the joy of gains. Implication of disposition effect. One of the most common implications of this effect is that fear of loss makes investors disinvest often. But in reality, they would have been better off had they stayed invested for long. Thus, the disposition effect restrained investors from getting benefit of the stock price momentum. To overcome this effect, an investor must choose to continually review his underperforming assets and must consider selling them at the earliest. Next is the availability bias. Availability bias refers to being biased toward the readily available information. For example, the number of deaths each year in India is far more due to myocardial infarction than car accident. But when somebody dies in an accident, we get to hear about it on TV news and read about it plenty of times in newspaper. There was a survey done recently to see what people state as the most common cause of death in India. And to a great surprise, people chosen road injury are the biggest cause of death. This is a classic example of availability bias, as people developed a bias toward the available information. How to overcome psychological biases? It is essential to overcome bias to arrive at the right decision. Every one of us, whether an investor or a non-investor, is under the influence of one or many biases. But a successful investor or a businessman is the one who has learned to see things beyond these biases. So let us figure out ways to deal with behavioral biases. Number 1. Look at the big picture. The investment market is highly interlinked, both at domestic as well as at global level. When you only look at investment made by you, then your perspective of observing the stock market also get reduced. But when you see the happenings around, closely watching the growing industries, the industry players, etc., then you see the realistic view of the market. Investments are bound to fluctuate, especially in the short run. But when you learn to analyze the investment scenario, then such fluctuation do not matter anymore. As per the advice of Daniel Kahneman, investors must check the frequency with which they see how well their invested stocks are performing. The following questions will help you to overcome biases better. What is the reason for considering a particular stock for investment? What is the time horizon available with you for staying invested? What are the expected returns after 1 year from this investment? What is the risk of this stock on your overall portfolio? What if the stock underperforms your expectation? Would you still stay invested for a long time, or would you want to quit? Also try to reason out the chosen option. And are you maintaining a checklist? Number 2. Rely less on what you see. Avoid making a judgment by looking at the reports or trend shown prominently on all news channels. Instead, you must try to engage yourself more in reading about the industries or companies where you want to invest or have already invested. Number 3. Be knowledgeable. The more you learn about stock investment, the lesser your decisions are affected by behavioral biases. Knowledge is by far the most reliable instrument that is going to help you master the game of stock investment. Of course, you cannot learn every aspect of it, but reading can add a lot to your investment skills. Number 4. Follow a good mentor. If you are entirely new to investing and know not a thing about it, then it would be wise to follow an investment guru like Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, Ben Graham, Peter Lynch, etc. It will help you to overcome a lot of apprehensions and the widespread misinterpretation of stock market investment. Number 5. Look at a stock investment as a business owner. As we have discussed earlier too, every investment you make in the stock market must be looked at from the owner's perspective. You need to consider yourself as the owner of the company and then analyze what you would get out of the investment made in the company. Number 6. Review your biases periodically. You need to review your preferences periodically with the investment that you were tempted to make under the influence of those biases. Make a list of all biases that you are a victim of, and also make a note of how the investment done under those biases are performing now. It will be good learning if you add a list of top performing stocks under your chosen sectors of business. You must keep tracking your investment against the benchmark investment that is performing the best in that particular industry. This practice will be an eye-opening activity for you that will help you to see beyond your biases and act wisely in the future. Number 7. Find someone who challenges your investment or opinion all the time. This is indeed one of the most effective way of checking your investment strategies. Encourage your spouse, your father, your mom, your son or daughter, or any other family member or a friend to act as a critique of all your investment ideas. You and your critique must get involved in a healthy conversation where you have to defend your investment ideas from a contrary viewpoint. This exercise will help you to see loopholes clearly in your investment ideas. Okay, let's answer an interesting question. Which is the most common bias seen? This survey involved 724 participants from across the globe. It is clear that herding is the most common bias and accounts for 34%, solely amongst all other biases.